Welcome to Clay Companion, where we sculpt the stories that shape our world one frame at a time. Today, we're digging into a tale of two brothers, a viral moment, and some seriously strong opinions on everything from dogs to modern society. Get ready to meet the Carlson brothers, but not in the way you might expect. We're talking chaos, childhood, and some surprisingly profound clan-mated wisdom. So, who are the Carlson brothers? On one side, you have Tucker Carlson, a name that's been a fixture in American media for decades. You've seen him on TV, you know the voice. But on the other side is his younger brother, Buckley Carlson. For a long time, he was the lesser known of the two, operating more behind the scenes in Washington, D.C. as a communications strategist and lobbyist. Two brothers, both successful, both navigating the corridors of power, but in very different ways. One in the blinding spotlight, the other in the influential shadows. Their dynamic is fascinating, and it's the unexpected explosion of the quieter brother into the Internet-esque consciousness that sets the stage for our story today. Buckley Carlson didn't seek out internet fame, it kind of just happened to him. A clip from an interview suddenly went viral, and overnight he became this accidental internet icon. People were fascinated. Here was this guy, related to one of the most polarizing figures in media. But he had this completely unique, unfiltered, and hilariously cantankerous energy. It was his deadpan delivery and his unapologetic commentary on the absurdities of life that people latched onto. The internet loves an authentic character, and Buckley, with his dry wit and seemingly permanent state of mild annoyance, was exactly that. He wasn't trying to be a personality, he just was one. One of the most memorable stories that came out of this viral moment was the saga of his time as a school administrator. Picture this: Buckley, a man who clearly values common sense, finds himself in a world drowning in bureaucratic nonsense. He talks about dealing with a rule book that seemed designed to make life as difficult as possible. He tells a story about a kid who brought a toy to school and the ridiculous, over-the-top disciplinary process that followed. You can just feel his frustration with a system that prioritizes procedure over people. It's a classic tale of a nonsense guy clashing with a world full of nonsensical rules. And it's as relatable as it is funny. If you want to understand Buckley Carlson's worldview, you need to understand his hierarchy of beings. And at the very top of that pyramid, dogs, according to him, dogs are simply superior to humans. They're loyal, they're straightforward, and they don't get bogged down in the complicated, often foolish drama that people do. He talks about the pure, uncomplicated joy a dog brings into your life. While humans are busy navigating social codes and office politics, a dog just wants to be your friend. There's a certain wisdom in that, a recognition that sometimes the simplest relationships are the most rewarding. It's a sentiment that many dog lovers out there would wholeheartedly agree with. To understand the Carlson brothers, you have to go back to their childhood in the 1980s. Buckley paints a picture of a time that feels almost like a different planet compared to today. It was an era of unstructured play, of climbing trees, of getting into mischief, and of learning lessons the hard way. There were fewer rules, less supervision, and a lot more freedom. This 80s childhood energy he describes seems to have shaped his entire perspective, a belief in resilience, self-reliance, and the importance of experiencing the world directly, not through a screen or a set of guidelines. It was a time of skinned knees and real-world adventures, a foundation that built a personality that doesn't suffer fools gladly. This appreciation for freedom extends directly to his views on creativity. Buckley argues that true creativity can't survive in a sanitized, overly structured environment. It needs the freedom to be messy, to make mistakes, and to be a little bit chaotic. When you try to force creativity into a box, with endless meetings and corporate jargon, you strangle it. He believes that the best ideas come from individuals being left alone to think, to tinker, and to pursue their own weird obsessions. In a world obsessed with brainstorming sessions and collaborative synergy, his call for creative freedom and solitude is a powerful and refreshing counter-narrative. And then there's the plain story. It's one of those anecdotes that perfectly captures his storytelling style. He recounts a flight where he looks into the cockpit and sees the pilot seemingly dozing off. His reaction isn't panic, but a kind of bemused resignation. It's a commentary on the fragility of the systems we rely on, and the quiet absurdity of placing our trust in strangers every single day. The story starts with a hint of alarm, but quickly pivots into a humorous observation about the state of the world. It's a perfect example of how he finds the dark humor in situations that might make other people anxious, turning potential disaster into a philosophical punchline. This perspective carries through to their broader commentary on modern America. The Carlsons often describe contemporary life as feeling like a video game that's starting to glitch. People seem to be following scripts, acting like non-player characters or NPCs, going through the motions without genuine thought or engagement. Social interactions feel canned, public discourse feels robotic, and the whole system seems to be running on buggy code. It's a provocative metaphor, but it captures that feeling many people have that something about our society has become hollow and inauthentic. It's a world full of digital ghosts and predictable dialogues, and they're here to point out the glitches. But beneath all the rants, the chaos, and the cynical observations, there's a clear bond of brotherly affection. When you see them interact, you see the shared history, the inside jokes, and the genuine warmth. They might have different public personas, but they come from the same place and share a similar, unfiltered way of looking at the world. Their dynamic is a mix of poking fun at each other and finishing each other's sentences. It's this combination of brotherly chaos and underlying heart that makes their conversations so compelling. They're not just commentators, they're family, navigating this strange modern world together. And that's the story of the Carlson brothers, or at least a small piece of it, sculpted in clay. It's a reminder that behind every public figure, there's a personal story, and sometimes the most interesting characters are the ones who never sought the spotlight in the first place. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this little deep dive, don't forget to subscribe and stay squishy for more stories from the Clay Companion. We'll see you next time.